You've been trying to stay strong for so long, and maybe that's the part nobody sees. You still show up. You still pray. You still tell yourself to keep believing, even though part of you feels emotionally worn thin. Because waiting can quietly drain a person, especially when you thought the answer would have come by now. Maybe you've been carrying a prayer for months, maybe years, a healing, a breakthrough, an open door, a relationship to come back together, some kind of peace that still feels just out of reach. And what makes it harder is the silence. Not just the silence around you, but the silence inside you. You sleep, but your mind keeps running. You smile at people, but deep down you feel disappointed in ways you haven't fully admitted out loud. Sometimes you wonder if God still sees you in this season at all. That thought hurts, because you've tried to keep your faith alive. But disappointment repeated over time can make the heart tired in very quiet ways, and eventually you stop expecting good news because protecting yourself feels safer than hoping again. If that's where you are right now, take a breath. You are not weak for feeling exhausted by the waiting, and you are not forgotten. God is here, even in this long, unfinished chapter. Before we go further, type this in the comments: I will not give up in the waiting. Then let's walk through this together. One of the hardest parts of waiting is feeling like your life is standing still, like everyone else is moving forward while you remain stuck in the same painful place. You watch other people receive the miracle, the relationship, the opportunity, the healing you prayed for, and quietly, a question starts forming inside you. What about me? That question can become heavy, because when nothing changes externally, it's easy to assume nothing meaningful is happening at all. But some of God's deepest work happens in seasons that look unproductive from the outside. Roots grow underground first. And maybe this waiting season is not punishment. Maybe it's preparation. Sometimes God uses the wilderness to increase your capacity before He releases the blessing, because the very thing you're praying for may require a stronger heart, deeper peace, healthier boundaries, or a level of endurance you do not fully have yet. That doesn't mean your desire is wrong. It means your growth matters too. And here's the difficult thought that changes everything. What if the door is closed right now because you are not ready for what's behind it yet? Not rejected, not abandoned, just being prepared with care. Even now, something is shifting inside you. Your patience, your wisdom, your dependence on God instead of constant outcomes. Waiting is painful, but waiting is not wasting, and God still knows exactly where you are. After enough disappointment, something subtle can happen to the heart. You stop expecting, not because you no longer believe in God, but because hoping feels dangerous now. So instead of dreaming again, you lower your expectations. You tell yourself not to get too excited, not to trust too much, not to believe too deeply, because disappointment has taught you how to survive by staying emotionally guarded. And honestly, that kind of exhaustion is real. Maybe part of you has already started settling internally, not in words, but in spirit. You still pray, but without expectation. You still worship, but quietly numb. You still ask God for help, while secretly preparing yourself for another delay. That is the spirit of resignation, and it steals joy slowly. But tonight, I want you to hear this gently. Just because something has not happened yet, does not mean it never will. Your story is not over. God has not lost your address. He has not misplaced your prayer. And He is not asking you to fake positivity while your heart hurts. He is simply inviting you to trust Him one more day, one quiet step at a time. So instead of asking, why hasn't it happened yet? Maybe ask, how can I stay open to hope again? Because hope is not denial. Hope is choosing to believe that even here, God can still bring breakthrough, favor, healing, and unexpected open doors into your life. And sometimes the first miracle is learning how to hope again. When you've been waiting a long time, life can start feeling like one long hallway. You tell yourself, I'll feel better when the answer comes, when the breakthrough happens, when the door finally opens. And without realizing it, your joy becomes trapped in the future. But there are small moments happening right now that your exhausted heart may be overlooking. A quiet morning, a deep breath, a text from someone checking on you, the way sunlight comes through the window after a hard night. Tiny things, easy to miss. But sometimes God hides peace inside ordinary moments because He knows your soul cannot survive on major miracles alone. You need daily grace too. And maybe healing begins when you stop treating this season like a pause button and start noticing that life is still unfolding gently around you, even while you wait. Not perfectly, but meaningfully. So right now, slow down for a second. Think about today, not the whole year, not the entire future, just today. Was there one small blessing, one tiny sign of comfort, provision, alignment, or peace? Maybe something you almost ignored? I want you to place it in the comments, even if it feels unbelievably small, because gratitude reopens the heart, and sometimes joy returns quietly, long before circumstances change. There is something powerful that happens when you choose gratitude before the breakthrough arrives. Not fake gratitude, not pretending everything feels okay. Real gratitude. The kind that says, God, this season is hard, but I still see your hand keeping me together. Because gratitude shifts the atmosphere inside you. It reminds your mind that even though some prayers remain unanswered, your entire life is not abandoned. There are still signs of mercy surrounding you in ways you may have stopped noticing. A roof over your head, strength to make it through another day, a moment of unexpected peace. The fact that your heart is still capable of hope at all, those things matter. And praise in the waiting carries a different kind of weight, because it is no longer based on visible results. It becomes trust, it becomes surrender, it becomes spiritual alignment with the belief that God is still good in unfinished seasons. That kind of faith changes you. So, tonight, instead of only focusing on the closed door, thank God for sustaining you in the hallway. Thank Him for protecting you from things you never saw, for carrying you through nights you thought would break you, for the miracle that is still forming quietly beneath the surface. Because breakthrough often begins internally before it appears externally, and gratitude keeps your heart open long enough to receive it. Maybe you're tired in ways nobody fully understands. Tired of waiting, tired of wondering, tired of carrying invisible burdens while trying to appear okay on the outside. And right now, I want this moment to become a prayer, not a performance, just an honest conversation with God. So wherever you are, let your shoulders relax for a second, breathe slowly, and allow these words to settle over your spirit. God, you see the weariness this person has been carrying, the disappointments they never fully processed, the prayers that still feel unanswered, the quiet fears that wake up with them in the middle of the night, and yet, they are still here, still hoping, still reaching for you, still trying not to give up. So right now, I ask you to renew their strength, not just physically, but emotionally and spiritually too. Quiet the anxiety that has been running through their mind. Lift the heaviness they have carried for too long. Restore their peace, restore their joy, restore their expectation for good things again. When they feel weak, remind them they are not alone. When the waiting feels endless, remind them that delays are not denial. And when discouragement tries to settle into their heart, fill them again with courage, endurance, and calm faith. God, let this next season bring alignment, unexpected favor, open doors, and the kind of breakthrough that only you could have orchestrated. And before this video ends, repeat this softly to yourself. I am not forgotten. God is renewing me while I wait. Amen. Something inside you may still feel uncertain. That's okay. Healing is not always loud. Sometimes it happens quietly, like tension slowly leaving the body after being carried for too long. And maybe that's what this moment is. Not instant answers, not every prayer resolved overnight, but a small return of peace, a reminder that you do not have to carry this waiting season alone anymore. Because the truth is, God has been with you in every invisible moment, in every disappointed sigh, every tear you wiped away quickly, every night you questioned whether things would ever change. He stayed, even when your faith felt fragile. And one day, you may look back at this chapter differently, not because the waiting was easy, but because you'll realize God was building endurance, wisdom, compassion, and strength inside you the entire time. Nothing is wasted, not the delays, not the heartbreak, not even the silence. So tonight, let your heart rest a little. You do not need to force tomorrow into place. You do not need to have every answer right now. Just take the next breath, the next faithful, the next prayer, the next faithful step, and trust that what is meant for you will arrive in the right time, through the right door, with the peace and alignment you are always meant to carry into it. If this prayer helped you feel calmer tonight, gently like this video as your declaration that you will not give up in the waiting. And remember, you are still growing, even here,